Kicking it with KeKe. Kicking it with KeKe. Kicking it with KeKe. Full of personality. Switching up the storyline on God, we making history. Writing books, changing lives. One day at a time. Put your problems to the side. Enjoy yourself. Free your mind. Kicking it with KeKe.
Hello. Welcome you guys to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, life, love, and all that other shit. I am your host, author KeKe Chanel. I'm also a certified life coach, and I specialize in personal growth and mindset. This is the overall purpose of this podcast because we have to have these, important conversations that will change the dynamics of how we think and how we operate overall. I am joined today with someone who's going to tell us about the importance of being financially literate. In this day and age, we all need to know that. We've been needing to know that, but some of us didn't get it growing up, and we are about to change the narrative in our culture, in our community, in our family dynamics. So everyone, please give a warm welcome to Morgan Cleveland. Morgan, thank you for joining me.
Hey. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, ma'am. So you guys, Morgan is what we call a financial makeover coach. Like, I didn't know that there was a thing until I met Morgan, like like a month ago or something like that. And I'm like intrigued by it. Like, I got to get you on the show so you can tell listeners what a financial makeover coach is. So before we get started, I like to give my guests the opportunity to introduce themselves. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to you. You just tell everybody who you are and what you do.
All right. So like KeKe said, my name is Morgan. I am a financial makeover coach. My goal is to be able to really share financial literacy with people and then also provide them with the tools and resources needed to implement that information. Because a lot of times we get new stuff, we learn about new things, and then we don't know how to use it. So we do give you the system to be able to do that. I primarily work with other moms because I am a working mom with small kids. So I definitely relate to them, but I am not opposed to, working with men as well. We all need to become financially secure.
Absolutely. So today's topic, we're getting into it, the importance of financial literacy. Morgan, how important is it for us to be financial literate? Like, we just talked a little bit about how I wasn't taught that in school. The only thing that I was taught in school is how to balance a checkbook. I don't think that's the gist of being financial literate. Like, you could balance a checkbook, but where the money coming from? How you saving and all that? So how important is it for us to be financial literate?
It is super crucial. And financial illiteracy is not something that just happens in the US. It's really a worldwide problem.
Right.
There is a book called How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. I didn't name the book, so don't be mad at me for the title, okay? Because you probably felt something in your spirit when I said that. I didn't name it. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Okay, I just read the book. But the book is called How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker, and it talks about, when you are financially illiterate, what you kind of put yourself at risk for. When you don't know how money works, you are putting yourself at risk of being taken advantage of by those who not only know it, but they understand it so much and they make sure that you don't know it. So you really end up being penalized by the banks, by government, by, these credit card companies, by car dealerships when you go in here and get these car loans. There's so many different ways that not knowing how money really works and not knowing how to best use it as a tool. Because a lot of people think money is a goal. It's not a goal. Money is a tool. You need to use money to make money. We shouldn't have these goals of just saying, I want to make $60,000 a year. You need to know how to make it grow.
Absolutely. Use money to make money. Do you remember the name of the author for that book? How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. I gotta get it.
You know what? Look, you gotta get it. It's very few books out there that you're going to be able to confuse with that one. And one thing that I love about that How Money Works book is that it breaks it down into easy to understand terms. It's not one of those financial books that's written with all these big words that you have never heard a day in your life. Now you got to go to the dictionary, understand that word, understand the concept. It's not like that. It makes it very easy to understand. It tells you, what financial literacy really is, which is really just knowing how money works, how to be able to put it to work for you, how to make it grow, how to save money, all of these different things, different ways to be able to make money. Financial literacy kind of encompasses all of that. And one reason that I actually saw a video yesterday, I'm happy we didn't talk about this before we hopped on here, but I saw a video yesterday and it was talking about, the numbers were released for 2021, right? We're in 2022 now. The numbers were released for 2021. And in the Black community alone, our spending power went up to $1.6 trillion.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
In the Black community, that's how much money we had available to be able to spend. Every other community, all their net worths, everybody else's went up except for ours. Our net worth, even though we had $1.6 trillion, which is twice as much spending power as we had 20 years ago, our overall net worth went down by 14%.
Wow.
And it's because we know how to get the money. You know what I mean? We know how to make the money. We don't know how to keep the money. We don't know how to make the money grow. We don't know how to invest wisely. So it's not an issue of us not having the money, but it's that we don't have the right knowledge behind it to know what to do with it, to make it, to put it to work the best way for us. So financial literacy, long story short, is super important. You need it in your life because these things are not taught in school.
No.
And we have to get out of the mindset of, oh, wow, I went to college, or, oh, wow, I went to high school and I graduated. Learning don't stop when you graduate.
No.
Learning does not stop when you walk across the stage. That learning needs to be continuous.
Daily.
And when you put yourself in a position to keep on learning, that's when you're able to really take advantage of some of these things that are really out here that we weren't introduced to coming up.
Right. And I love that you given the numbers, like statistics, because we could tell people all day, hey, we have the money coming in, and they still on that reparations. And I'm not knocking anybody that's still in that, but why dwell on something that's never gonna come?
And we're past that, really, at this point. There are ways for us to be able to create our own reparations instead of sitting here and waiting on a handout.
Right.
When we got those stimulus checks last year, stop. Get out of here, both of y'all. Xavier, get out. Close that door. Kids, honey.
Yes.
Kids.
Listen, I get it. I get it.
The mom life of an entrepreneur. Let me tell you. So for all my moms out there, they got little kids, and you like, I cannot start a business. I cannot do anything because I have these kids. Let me tell you, that's not true. Okay. Let what stops you sometimes be the reason that you push through.
Ooh, say that for the people in the back.
Let me say it again for the people in the back.
Say that again.
Let what stops you be the reason that you push through.
Ooh.
I've had certain things come up in the past, and I know this is veering off a little bit, but I've had things come up in the past, and it's like, oh, I can't do that. I got my kids. You know what I mean? Or, oh, that would be a great opportunity if I didn't have my kids with me. The last time that something like that happened, and I was like, the fact that I can't go is because of my kids. I said, you know what? I'm gonna pack a bag. We all going. Yes. Let's go. Get in the car. We rolling. Like, how you gonna make that work? I don't know.
We gonna figure it out.
We gonna figure it out. That's really it. But I'm sorry, you're gonna have to repeat your question for me, because
I was just talking about the book, and I was trying to see if you had the author's name, but I'll find it and I'll put it in the description box, because we need to get this book.
Yes, you need to get the book. It's definitely available on Amazon. Get it.
And so, my next question was, what does having a financial makeover entail? Like, what, as a financial makeover coach, what does that look like? Like, what do you do? What actually is the process?
Got you. So we actually have a whole financial makeover program. right? So me as a financial makeover coach, I just let people know really that this program is available and the ways that it can help other people. So with the financial makeover program, the areas of finances that it really helps you with, it helps you get 3 things down, it helps you get 3 things up. This is the easy way to be able to understand the concept of what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
So the 3 things that we help people reduce, we help people lower their taxes. Over 80% of Americans actually overpay their taxes every year. And it's because they don't know how not to overpay their taxes.
Right.
Like we're taught a refund is a good thing, and it's really not. We also help people reduce their debt. And then we also help people reduce their expenses or their bills.
Okay.
Okay. And then the 3 things that we help people get up is their credit score, their cash flow, and their investments. So that's really what all in all, that's what a financial makeover is. It helps you get each of those areas of your finances in order. Because the reality is that there's 4 things that really stand in the way of everybody creating that financial reality and that financial future that they really want. And that's going to be taxes, debt, big business, and inflation. So if you think about it, taxes takes the largest amount of our income off the top, right? You see it come out of your check before you even pay for it, before you get a penny of it,
right?
You know, and then you see it when you go to the grocery store, you got to pay sales tax, you got state tax, you got federal tax,
right?
You got COVID tax. Some places you go now, they've got COVID tax, got transportation tax, ad valorem tax. There's a tax on everything. Everything. Now, I'm not saying you don't need to pay your taxes, because you do.
Yes, okay, please. We're not telling anybody not to pay their taxes.
We're not advocating that. I'm like, let me make that clear. Okay. Right. Now, I'm not advocating that we don't pay our taxes. I'm just saying we need to pay what we owe and nothing more.
And that's it.
Most people are overpaying. And see, when you fix the area of your taxes, let's say if you're overpaying your taxes right now, just a simple $400 a month. Right? If we can get that $400 coming back into your household, that helps you in the next area, which is debt. Right. Because now you don't have to borrow as much money throughout the year from the banks, from, all these other places trying to make up for the money that you lost in taxes.
Right.
So now that $400 can go into your debt, right? If you can pay your debt off sooner, then now you've got more money to be able to invest. Right. Because now you're paying less money in interest. So it really all goes hand in hand as far as how the financial makeover works. But the first thing is really to start saving money where you can. Stop overpaying on the things that you are currently overpaying on, and really start addressing those areas of your finances that are gonna help you get it in a better standing. Right. Like if you got a low credit score, work on that, because that's costing you a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's costing us a lot of money. And because we don't know how credit scores work, how debt really works, how compound interest really works, we don't even understand that we're really putting ourselves into a bigger hole when we don't address these things.
Right, right. Yeah, look, I've been there, student loans had me down and out, and I was like,
girl, say student loans.
Like I was, and the thing about it is, I'm gonna be very transparent. I got student loans and I don't have the degree. I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm gonna go find something that I'm interested in, take the classes that I need, and I'm gonna do something different. So I became a certified life coach, and that way I could specialize in a certain niche and help the people that I'm led to help. So yes, but yeah, it's not a substantial amount, but it's still, I have to pay it. Like,
wow. Me actually having student loans is what kind of started my journey, my personal journey on improving my own finances, because I had debt. Like I still have debt, but now I'm to a point to where I have a plan to be able to pay that debt off way sooner. So just for example, with my student loans, I would have been in debt behind my student loans, my credit card, and my mortgage for the next 84 years. Wow. Right. But now I will be completely debt free in just 8.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That is amazing, because we, and I hate to bring this up, but it is what it is in our community, the Black community. This is something that is like swept under the rug. You work, you pay bills, you take care of your family. That's it. If you have
That's
something
right.
left over, you know, use it how you feel. But
Yeah.
investing is not a word that was used when I was growing up. Saving was not used when I was growing up. You know, we went on trips and stuff, and I don't know. I thought, listen, I told somebody the other day, I thought we had it good up until recently. And my mom was like, no, me and your dad just worked our ass off, and we didn't discuss that kind of stuff in front of y'all because we didn't want y'all as kids to be burdened with stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, when I feel you, because I'm the same way when I was coming up, and I'm sorry, I gotta move around, gotta grab something for the kids. But when I was coming up, I didn't know we was broke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought we was balling. Man, we just talking about we broke. We stay going somewhere, doing something.
Shopping.
You know what I mean? Shopping, doing all kinds of different things. You know what I mean? Like, I stayed doing different things. So it was like, okay, baby, just a second. I'll help you out with it. So, you know, I love doing different things like that, especially when I was coming up. And it was like, I didn't know we were broke. I didn't realize, you know, the financial state that my parents were really in until I got much older and I started realizing it for myself.
Right.
It actually was when my dad passed away that I realized that he had so much debt. That's when I realized that he had so much debt that I didn't even know anything about, you know? So it made me more conscious as a parent to make sure that I don't put my kids in that situation. I was like, you know what? I gotta figure out a way to get rid of this debt.
Yeah, otherwise it doesn't go away. It carries over to the next generation. Like, it carries over.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And a lot of people in our community, they think that, oh, you know, because my dad used to have this saying that he said, like, you know, when you tell somebody that you got to do something, he like, I don't have to do nothing but stay black, pay my taxes, and die. That's it. But that's not true.
Right. You have to do a lot. You have to do a lot.
Like, what you mean? That's what you know, and people think that when you die, that debt does, but it does not.
It does not.
That debt ends up becoming generational debt. You know, it ends up becoming the generational curse. It ends up becoming something that is normal in our families until we take that stand and say, nah, we're not doing this no more. What do I need to do to get out of this?
Absolutely.
Because, you know, when I pass away, if I don't owe anybody anything, that's at least a fresh start. My kids could start from the ground.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of starting underground because I left them with, you know what I'm saying, having to pay my debts off before they even got their own stuff.
Yeah. And let me put this out there real quick for anybody who's listening. Stop putting bills in your kids' name, man. Stop putting the bills
please
in the kids' name.
Please.
Don't do that.
Please stop.
I just had to put that out there, like, for real.
Please stop doing that. We actually had one of our partners about a year ago, right? When she got started. She was 19 when she started. She had a credit score of 354, I believe. I think the lowest that you can have is either 300 or 350. And she had a 354 and she was 19. Wow. And I believe that was the reason for it, because there's no way that you can be, you know, 19 and have terrible credit like that.
Yes, somebody has something in her name.
My kids are just wanting to be all up and through this interview, y'all, right now.
Listen, say hey to YouTube babies.
Right? Look, they will, and they certainly will. Believe me, I'll let them do it at the end. Otherwise, they'll be distracted. They'll be all up and through this thing for real. But yes, please stop putting bills in these kids' name, because it's starting them out in a worse position than what they would have been without it. If you are a parent and you're listening to this and you are in a position where, okay, I need my lights cut on at this new address that I'm moving on, you know what I'm saying, I'm moving to over here, but my credit is terrible and my security deposit is going to be $500 if I put it in my name. But if I put it in 8-year-old, you know what I'm saying, Malik's name, we can get it and we don't have a deposit. So that's what we're going to do. But see, what ends up happening is the same thing that you did with your credit. You're going to do the same thing to your kids' credit before they're even old enough to use it.
To know what credit is, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't even know what it is, you know, and now they got things in their names. And when they turn 18, it's going to be even harder for them to be able to get anything, whether it's a car, whether it's a home, whether, you know, regardless of what it is, it's going to cost more in the long run for you to be able to repair their credit and your credit at that point, versus you just taking the steps that you need to take now to fix your situation so that you are in a good position, so that you can teach them good money making skills and good money management skills.
And that brings me to a point that I want to make. When should we introduce our kids to financial literacy?
Honey, I say as soon as they start being able to understand stuff and they start counting, I say as soon as possible. My daughter is 5 and my son is 3. He'll be 4 next month. But I talked to them about financial literacy. We literally just told my daughter the other day, we was like, all right, we're going to go ahead and start putting you on allowance because you be wanting stuff when we go to the store. You've got chores to do.
Money.
You know, you can spend your money. You know, you've got certain things that you're responsible for. You're responsible for keeping your room clean. You're responsible for making sure your tab goes where it goes at the end of the day. All those kind of things. Now, I'm not going to pay her a crazy amount.
Right.
But I am going to give her $5 a week. I mean, she's 5. You know what I mean? That's only $20 a month. And then it'll also start teaching her responsibility. Because if you don't do your work, you will not get paid.
Absolutely.
And that's how the real world works.
And it starts at home. You know, like we as parents, that starts at home. Like my son, he used to ask for stuff all the time when we went to the store. And I'm like, no, buddy, you're gonna work for it. And then he just turned 13. So he is kind of frugal though. And so I like that to a certain extent, because he gonna always have something, like save him a ram in the bush. So he asked, like, Mom, can you take me to the store? I want to go get some snacks or something. I was like, okay. So I took him to the dollar store the other day. And I'm like, what is taking him so long? He in there shopping, girl. He done bought earbuds and deodorant and body wash and bought his mama something. I was like, wait a minute, where you get all this money from? But his birthday was in December and Christmas was in December. So he had a little come up. So yeah,
definitely. Yeah. I think that's good. You know, kids need to start learning those skills early. Now, something that I would say, when you are, you know, setting your kids up and starting to pay them sorry about that. So yes, when you are setting things up for your kids and you're teaching them about money management skills, don't just teach them, okay, you've got, you know, like for example, with my daughter, she'll get paid $20 a month. You're not able to spend $20 a month, baby girl. You can't do that. 10% of that is going to God. So $2 of your money is not yours every time you get it 20. Okay. Every time. So we're going to take 10% of that. We're going to put that over here. We're going to take another 20% and we're going to put that into an actual savings account. That's money that you cannot touch. So 30% of your $20, so $6 every month is already gone.
See,
you know what I mean? And then with that last 70%, okay, do what you want to do. But understand, when we go to the dollar store, if your money is gone, your money is gone.
Yes, you're not getting anything. Yes.
You know what I mean? So you have to start teaching them about those different things and how to take those different steps early and getting them in the habit of saving. Because even as adults, we know 10% of it is supposed to go to God. We're supposed to take some money aside and set it aside for savings. But a lot of times we don't. You know, we just don't.
Right. Absolutely. And I think I'm a little bit
doing this. Then they'll pick it up.
Right. You know? And I think it's time. I should have done it like a few years ago, but I think I'm going to go ahead and set up my son's like savings and get him a little debit card or whatever, because I don't carry cash around with me. And so I don't feel comfortable with him, because sometimes he forget and he'll come out of the store holding his change. And I'm like, don't do that, because people be waiting to knock you off. True. And then I have to jump out the car because he don't be wanting me to go in there. Like, no, I got it. I'm good. Okay. And so, yeah, that I think that's something that I will do within the next month.
Yeah, definitely. I just went to a networking event last week, and one of the women there was talking about some things that she does with her son. And she actually has a card. I have to get the name of it out of my phone because I took notes in there.
It's like I know
no, it's not a green light card. Okay. Let me actually see. Let me check my notes for you real quick. Okay. But as long as you can still hear me, we're good.
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so the card that she has is actually, it's a First Chase Bank online card for kids. And then with this card, she's able to, say if he's supposed to do his chores that week, right? And then that's when he's supposed to get paid. Take a picture of the chore that you actually completed. You send it over to her. Once she verifies that chore is completed adequately, because yes, we say clean your room, and sometimes they're throwing everything up under the bed
or in the closet.
So, yeah, or in the closet. So once we verify that these things are actually done, she can just go onto the app and check it off, and then it'll pay him however much that particular chore is.
Wow, yes.
But she's a teacher. So she only gets paid twice a month. So let's say if he gets done with his chores on the 10th and she doesn't get paid until the 15th, he waits until the 15th to get his money.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's teaching him so many different life lessons.
Yes. It's teaching so much. And I think that, and I want to say that she said her son was like 12.
Okay.
So it's never too early to start teaching your kids about financial literacy. Even if you can't like explain the in detail how a whole lot of the stuff works. Like you may not be able to explain to them how the stock market works.
Right.
You may not be able to explain to them how buying a property or how, investing in real estate may make sense. But you can explain to them, all right, cool. You get $100, my dude. Don't spend it all in one place.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Separate it up like this. Divide what you need, based on between what you need and what you actually want. Determine whether it's a need or it's a want.
You live with your parents. What I mean, you ain't doing too much with your money.
Yeah, exactly. You're not doing a whole lot. If you're living with your parents and you're not taking care of yourself financially, you're not doing a whole lot of different things with your money. So that should be a great time for you to start saving, for you to start being financially responsible and learning those different skills while you're at home, before you get out here in the real world. And then you make a mistake on your card, not knowing how to pay your credit cards off on time. And now you're sitting up here with this, $5,000 balance, and you're like, oh snap, this is the real world.
Interest too, don't leave that out.
My mentor has a very clever way of describing what interest is. So interest is the penalty you pay for the right to own something in advance before you can actually afford it.
Accurate.
Yeah,
absolutely.
When he said that, I was like, "Oh, that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
That's a nugget." Yes. So, can you give us some tips that we should do to help us be financially, literate? And I know you said that you had some moves that we should make, 5 moves we should make for 2022. Can
22.
You go in there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, well, it did have a little bit of a lag, but it's all good. All right. So yes, I have 5 money moves that you should be making in 2022, right? Use some things to be able to first analyze. 1, are you on track financially? What does that look like? And kind of how to navigate to it. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is you need to know your net worth. Now, net worth, everybody talks about net worth, so it may sound like a cliche term, but let me tell you how you can actually, determine what yours is. So you take what you own, any assets that you have, right? And then you subtract what you owe. So let's say that you own your home, and your home is it's worth $200,000, right? But you owe $50,000 for student loans, and you owe another $50,000 for your car. In that situation, your net worth is $100,000. If we're just looking at, just basic categories, but you do want to look at everything that you own and everything that you owe. So essentially, it's your assets minus your liabilities equals your net worth. Okay. So know your net worth. Because that kind of gives you a starting point, right? It lets you know what you need to focus on. If you have a low net worth or if you have a negative net worth, is what a lot of people will actually see is that most people will actually find that they have a negative net worth. So what you can do. So what you can do in that situation, if you do have a negative net worth, is to actually start decreasing what you owe and increase what you own. You need to start accumulating some assets. If you're not financially in a position to be able to accumulate some assets, take those steps you need to take. If you don't currently own your home, you need to own your home. Why don't you own your home? Is it your debt to income ratio? Is it your credit score? What is, what's the problem? And then start working on ways to be able to, improve that. And then also reducing your debt will also help improve your net worth as well. So that's money move number 1, right? Determine your net worth. Number 2, start planning for your future like it is your present. A lot of times people think, especially when we're young and we get these great jobs and they're like, hey, you want to invest in your 401k? We're like, nah, I'll start that in my 40s. Like, yeah, I need all my coins today. I can't really lose that $20 a check, to invest over into this thing. But you want to start early. You want to start investing early. If you can start investing early, you want to start investing early, because the more time that you allow to work for your investment or for your money, the more it's going to be able to grow. The more time that you actually allow compound interest to work for you. Now, when you're paying a debt, you don't want that debt to be stretched out because you're going to pay a lot more than what you should. But when you are investing, you want to start having that compound interest work for you as soon as possible. Another reason you want to start investing early as well is because inflation is on the rise. Like in the past, inflation had been about 3%. You know what I mean? It wasn't that bad. Last year, it hit a record high of 6.7%. And I believe the last 40 or 50 years. Like that was like a record high for the last couple of decades. So with that being the case, the $10, or let's say you got $100 today, in a year, that $100 is only going to buy you about $70 worth of stuff. Your dollar is losing value every day.
Yeah,
so you have to put your money, so you have to put your money in places that are going to grow it every day, because it's out here with it not being invested, with it sitting in a bank account like most people have it, it's losing value every day. It's not doing anything for you. So start investing for your financial future. For sure. Let's see.
That was number 3, right?
That was number 2.
Okay, so all that's in number 2. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm just kind of giving an explanation on each one.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, manage your money. Learn how to manage your money. My IG name is Mom's Mastering Money, because there was a quote that I saw that was like, if what you don't master ends up mastering you. So if you don't learn to master your money is going to be what determines what you're able to do. So you have to learn how to actually manage your money, manage your cash flow, because a lot of people think that, and maybe that would have been a better term, manage your cash flow. Because a lot of people think, oh, I need to make a ton of money. I need to make $1 million a year. I need to, get this high income and add a second job to be able to make more money. That's not true.
Right.
That's not true. It's not true, because most of the time that money that you need is on the table with the other options that you're not looking at. Like if you're not addressing your taxes, you could be losing $300 to $500 a month because you're overpaying on your taxes. You know what I mean? And your cash flow is actually how long that money lasts for you. So it's not that most people have an income problem. We make enough money. It's just that once we make the money, we spend it so quickly, whether it's on needs, whether it's on necessities, it's just gone too quickly. That's why a lot of people are out here living check to check or check behind the check, my mentor said the other day, he said that if you're paying this month's bills with this month's income, you are only one check away from a disaster. So manage your money and manage your cash flow.
Yes, I mean that hit hard. Like, oh, you know how many people doing that?
Yeah, and it's not our fault. So I don't want anybody sitting here watching this to think that, oh my God, this girl just knew all this stuff. Believe me, I did not know any of this information until I started hanging with people who knew things like this and started telling me about it. And I started getting into it and saying, okay,
you're right. Again, though, say it again, because we make excuses a lot, especially when it comes to living paycheck to paycheck or not having certain things. If you want better, you do better. And that doesn't mean that if everybody is sitting in your room, living paycheck to paycheck, change rooms. Go in a room where people can actually teach you, pour into you, and show you. So you can come back to that room and do the same thing. And everybody move on, move to the next phase. So yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I mean, but it's so true. You know, I've had people come to me. Like I met with a young lady yesterday, and she was like, she said, wait, you didn't do finances before you started your business? I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I've learned all of these things. You know, I've learned these things by connecting myself with people who have already been there.
Yes.
Like some of my mentors, they make, 6 figures a year, and the first digit is not a 1 or a 2. And that's what they were doing on their 9-to-5 job. You know what I mean? So they already live in that life. I have mentors that were millionaires and lost their millions because they didn't understand taxes.
Right.
And had to make that money back. So you learn best by learning from other people's mistakes. You don't always have to be the one to make every single mistake.
Right.
But if someone else has already found the way, and that's where you want to go, quit trying to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
Hop on the train that's already headed to the destination you want to go. Hey. You don't have to run parallel tracks and try and figure it out. No, hop on the train that's already moving. You know what I mean? Get with people that are already doing these things. Because when you really start expanding your network and expanding your circle and who changing up who you hang around, you'll start thinking completely differently.
Right. And mindset shift.
Stay mindset. And that's another thing I want to quickly tap on too, is that it is the mindset. A lot of times it comes down to, okay, we're living check to check, which is the result of what we see, right? But it really started because maybe we didn't seek the information.
Yep.
Maybe we got the information and we never did anything with it. Maybe we didn't think that we were worthy of it. You know what I mean? Which sounds crazy, because we always dream like, oh, I want to be successful. I want to, be this wealthy person. And then sometimes when you see it, that there's a way for it to happen, you freeze up. Wait a minute. I don't know about this. Hold on.
Yep.
It sounded real good when it was a thought, but now I actually see how it can be real.
Get it? I can actually
know
get
about
that.
Like, wait a minute, I can do that. I don't know. Yeah.
No,
you know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Let me think about it. No.
Exactly. So, we can't be, it goes back to our mindset. A lot of times we were taught, like we already spoken about, we saw our parents struggling growing up. We thought it was bowling. Like, you know what I mean? We thought everything
they made it
cool.
look easy. You hear me?
We made it look super easy. We saw these things. We had these mindsets. We grew up with people telling us, oh, people with money are evil, or if you got, you know what I mean?
Greed and all.
Yes. And it's like, oh, if you're a millionaire, it's because you're greedy. There are so many struggling people out here who could use that money. And it's like, but that doesn't make me unworthy of being able to get it. You know what I mean?
God put us here to have abundance. You hear me? And prosperity. Like
exactly. And there was a book that I read called Secrets of a Millionaire Mind.
I heard that one.
Yes, it's a really good book. And it talks about how the mindset really needs to start shifting. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know if I can do that, I don't know if it's possible for me, or whatever the excuse is, listen to that book. Listen to that book. I put it on Audible. I can listen to it at night when I'm doing other things and whatnot. But one of the things that stuck out to me in that book is that he talked about a man that made $1 million a year or $1 million a month or some, you know what I mean? It was either a month or a year, but it was astronomical. Like $1 million is a lot, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
But this man somehow was always broke.
Yeah.
He made all the money in the world, but he was always broke. And it came to find out that it was actually in his programming. It was in the way he was thinking. He had this belief, his mom told him growing up, people with money are evil. So what he did is he doesn't want to be subconsciously, he doesn't want to be evil. Because that's what his mom implanted in his mind, is that people with money are evil. Right. So yeah, I can make the money, but I can't keep the money, because if I keep the money, then I'm evil. You know what I mean? So it goes back to the mindset, you know, and then our having money or lack of having money comes, you know what I'm saying? It's like a result. Sometimes, yeah, it is the education that we're missing, but a lot of times it's that mindset piece that we're missing. Right. We're thinking and operating from a scarcity place, you know. Especially in the Black community, we like, well, I only got $100. I think I'm gonna hold on to that. I'm not gonna invest in that. You know what I'm saying? I know I got $100 if you know what I'm saying, if I keep it with me. If you
listening and that hurt, say ouch, ouch. Because they're like, yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. People, we cannot be afraid to invest. You know, we have to be okay with knowing that yes, we do need money. But money is also a tool.
Scared money don't make money.
You can't expect $1 million return and you can't put out $300. Right. Or you don't want to put out $500. Right. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. You have to be willing to do that investing. And sometimes those investments are going to pay out. Sometimes they're not going to pay out. But in the end of it, even if it doesn't pay out monetarily wise, you learn a lesson. Absolutely. You learn a lesson. It teaches you something, whether it shifts your mindset, whether it's like, all right, I need to change the people I'm hanging around. Like, it'll make you realize something, you know what I mean? Now do your research with your investments. I'm not telling you go out here and just start throwing money in the stock market. That's not what I'm saying. Make smart investments, but we cannot be afraid to invest in the first place.
And that's the thing. We have to get out of our own way because we have not been taught about investments. So it's intimidating. And when you get into it, don't just try to do everything on your own. They have people that's professionals that has knowledge that they will give you. Like, and some of them you're gonna have to pay for, because everybody can't be just giving you away stuff for free. It ain't gonna happen. That ain't how life works. You can't just go to Walmart and get your grocery and be for free. Before you walk out of there, they want their money. You got to pay them. So
exactly. You know, and we are quick to go stand in line for the newest Gucci bag, or you know what I'm saying, these $300 Jordans when they drop. Oh, that PS5 is out. I need to go grab that. You got $1,000 for the PS5. You know, one thing that I learned is that people invest and people spend their money where they want to. Yes. People have money, but you have to want whatever that thing is. Yes. And a lot of times we are looking for that instant gratification. You know, if you walk into that Gucci store and you spend, you know, $1,000 on that bag, you know, you walking out with a purse. Yeah. If you go to the Jordan store and you are, you know, Foot Locker, wherever you go buy Jordans. I'm not a big Jordan person, but
Foot Locker got them.
Right, but Foot Locker got them. So if you go to Foot Locker and you buy them shoes, you know you're walking out with the shoes. When it comes to investing, though, you don't always see that return the very next day. You don't always see that return, you know what I mean? Even sometimes a week later. It depends on what it is. But you have to be okay with that delayed gratification. You have to be okay not getting everything so instantly, because you cannot microwave success. You cannot. You cannot microwave success.
Yes, no matter how convenient we might think it is, it's still some things you just can't put in the microwave. It ain't gonna taste the same. And you have to have that mindset. Like, I never try to cook, like, you know, a lasagna in a microwave. It's just, it ain't. I mean, it ain't gonna work. Eggs, no,
it ain't gonna hit the same. You know, you try and take watch you go home and try and take a roll of ground beef out of your freezer and pop it into the microwave. See if them hamburgers taste right.
Ain't nobody gonna eat that. Ain't nobody gonna eat it.
Ain't nobody gonna eat it. You can cook it, but ain't nobody gonna eat it.
So,
you know, because you got that instant gratification because you're like, oh, I don't have time for this, you know.
And
but if you
wasting
don't have
food,
the
you're
money,
just wasting the food.
you're just wasting it. But when it comes to money, if you don't have the money, you better have the time. If you don't have the time, you better have the money. You know what I mean? You because if you don't have time and you don't have money, you should be busy at looking at what's keeping you from having both.
Right.
You know, you should be looking at what's keeping you from being able to have both of those things. So we have to learn how to be able to, you know, invest. And not just invest in businesses, but invest in ourselves.
Yes.
Invest in ourselves. We aren't taught about personal development. We aren't taught about the fact that sometimes you need to sit down and look at yourself in the mirror and say, all right, what's wrong with me for real? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? But we don't do that. We don't typically do that. And with me, that's one thing that has really truly helped me in this business is it's forced me to be able to take that accountability, to start looking at personal development and seeing where I can really grow.
Right.
Because as an entrepreneur, and I'm sure you've seen this too, the only way for your business to grow is for you to grow. If you got it stuck up in your mind, wait, do I need to say that one again?
Girl, listen. Wait, girl.
When you came around.
Say it again for the people in the back. Real.
The only way for your business to grow is for you to grow. Your business will not grow if you do not grow.
Right.
You can have the most amazing product, the most amazing service. You can have all the systems in place, all the pretty funnels, the websites, the templates, all of that. But if you are not growing as a person, your business is going to hit a ceiling, and that ceiling will not bust off until you start actually growing.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. And I can attest
that's
to that.
when it'll happen. And that's not just in business, that's in life.
I know. And I was afraid to increase my prices. And I'm like, this is keeping you from writing your own books. This is keeping you from doing other stuff that you possibly can do. So it's your time that you can't get back. You know, people have to know that you have to invest in yourself, because I'm giving you one set price to help you. But just think about, you're going to get that back if you're promoting it and you doing what you need to do. So, you know, either you want to pay the fee, get it done right by a professional, because I'm anal when it comes to making sure that it's done right. Or then thank you.
I mean, and that's what it is sometimes, you know, like I get that too. We can definitely be kind of scared about upping our prices or when price increases are coming. Because I'll be honest, like we're having a price increase coming in April. Now it won't be like an astronomical, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to break the bank.
Nothing like that. But you know, right now our membership that we talked about earlier, just that membership alone goes for $80 a month. For all of that stuff though. And it's like, if we go up to $100 a month, look, if you want it done right, you're gonna pay the $100 a month. Because we know that with this increase, you got a staff of experts behind you that's going to do all this stuff. They certified, licensed, all that stuff. You know what I mean? And they know how to do these things versus us being like, nah, I think I'm going to hold on to my money and I'm going to figure it out. And what ends up happening is we end up wasting more time that we cannot get back.
And you coming to us anyway.
And then, and then you end up coming anyway because you know, you're trying to save on some coins, but now you done spent the extra 6 months trying to figure out how to get your credit score together and you didn't take it. You know, so now you go pay. Now the situation is even worse. So we definitely have to get out of the mindset of us having to do everything, because we don't have to do everything ourselves.
Right. You can't.
We don't have to do everything ourselves.
Listen, if y'all listening and y'all trying to do everything yourself, it's okay to outsource stuff. It's okay to ask for help. Just know who to ask. Because you can't get the help that you need from everybody. So just know who to ask, like for real.
That's true. Yeah. You got to do what you are best at and outsource the rest.
Yes.
Do what you are best at and outsource the rest. You know, that, So if you need help, go to somebody that can actually help you. You know, I'm never opposed to asking for help, ever. Like ever, you know,
I don't know it all. Like I don't know it all.
I don't know it all. I can share with you what I know.
I can lead you to somebody. Hey, I don't know, but I can get you to somebody who does. And I'm okay with that. Like a lot of people are so afraid to lose the money that they, I could do it. And they trying to figure it out. And so you messing up somebody else's time and money as well as yourself, instead of saying, oh yeah, I knew that such and such would have been the better fit. But you don't want that person to get what you was
to get the money. Yeah. And the thing is we got to understand too, and then we'll get back to the list because we almost, I think I got 2 more things on that. But you know, we can't be afraid of missing out on our blessings. You know, what God put our name on is gonna be for us. You know what I mean? I'm in certain spaces, in certain networking spaces, and I'm actually working on a partnership now. And I was telling one of my friends about it earlier, and they were like, "Oh, well, you can't have any of your business partners from MWR on there." And I'm like, "Well, why not?" And she was like, "Because they do the same thing that you do." I don't care. Because people are going to connect with people. What's for me is for me. My blessing is going to be for me. We may have the same exact service, the same, the same person, all that stuff may be same. But if we're 2 different people, we're going to attract 2 different tribes.
Absolutely. Your vibe will attract that tribe, baby. I'm so serious.
And it will. And it will. Chefs, you can line up 10 different chefs. They all make the same food, starting with the same noodles, the same Alfredo sauce.
It's gonna all taste the same.
It's all gonna taste different. It's all gonna taste different because the sauce is different. The person that's actually doing it is different, even if the individual components of what you're doing is the same. So don't ever feel like, oh, I gotta compete with this person, or I can't pass this person over here because X, Y, and Z. No, what's for you is for you. And believe me, if you don't know how to do something and you refer someone to someone who knows how to do it and they do it well, that person is going to come back to you and thank you for that introduction. They're going to think about you in the future when they get ready to do different things. Like, you did put me in touch with that person that helped me with my website, or, you got me in touch with the person that helped me get my financial makeover. And, now I can do X, Y, and Z, or whatever it is, so it's important to send referrals, y'all. You ain't got to do everything. You don't need to get all the coins. Okay,
it's enough for everybody.
All the coins are not enough. Yes, it is enough. There's plenty out here for everybody. Plenty for everybody. That's why we have to start developing that abundance mindset and not a scarcity or a poverty mindset. Because if you have an abundance mindset, it's more than enough out here for everybody.
And it's not even a second thought. Like, I'm gonna go ahead.
It's not.
Hey, because I have writing coaches that refer me and I refer them. It's like, I'm not in a place to do what you are. Is your schedule open? Yeah. What's going on? And it's my decision whether I want to work with the person or not. So you guys are listening to Kicking It with KeKe. I am here with Morgan, and we're talking about the importance of financial literacy, and she's given us 5 money moves that we should all make for 2022. The first one was know your net worth. The second one was start planning for your future like it's your present, like knowing how to invest and knowing that time and effort equals growth, knowing how compound interest work, and all this kind of stuff, knowing that inflation is on a rise. So if you need any type of information, she is here. She's going to give out her information in a little bit, so where you can connect with her and possibly get all of the information that she's able to give you when it comes to bettering yourself financially. And number 3 is managing your cash flow, knowing how to manage your cash flow. So we're getting ready to talk about the final 2 in a little bit. So
Yes. Definitely manage your cash flow. Keep that money in your pocket as long as you can, so you are not living check to check or check behind the check. So the number four. All right. So number 4 is number 4 is have a good tax strategy. Have a good tax strategy. Because you don't want to make all of this money and then you lose a bunch of it because you didn't have your taxes together. That's a tip for the business owners that just started. A lot of business owners last year started in 2020. They probably deducted all type of stuff on their taxes this year and don't have a receipt for any of it. Or if you do have a receipt, you got a shoebox of receipts, and that's not a good tax strategy.
Right. Yes.
So that's not a good tax strategy to just put your receipts in a shoebox, because it's thermal paper. And if you've ever found a receipt, ladies, in the bottom of your purse, you know that those words are gone after so long. Okay. And if you get audited next year for something that happened this year, you need to know where your receipts are. So you need to have a good tax strategy. Please stop. Thank you.
So what would you recommend? What would you recommend? Like, doing spreadsheets or making copies?
Well, I actually use an app. I use an app that's actually included in our membership called Hurdler.
Okay.
Spelled Hurdlr. It's so funny because, just a quick side note, every time I say hurdler, I always think of the movie The Hangover. Because in the beginning of the movie, you know, when it comes on, they're like, that's it. So every time I say hurdler, that's exactly how I think about it. I'm like, hurdler. Like, I have a whole song for it.
Yeah.
So yes, Hurdler. It's an awesome app. It can track multiple businesses for you. So if you've got, a candle business and a t-shirt business and a lawn care business, you can track all of your expenses for all of your businesses in there. It can link up with your bank account. That way, if you go to the store, say you've got a lawn care business, you go to the store and buy some soil, you can actually attach that receipt right to it. So if you ever do get audited, it's a spreadsheet. Yeah. You've got to go in and tell it the date ranges that you need, and it sorts it out in a category of personal expenses and business expenses. Okay. So that is a phenomenal app to use, especially if you are a business owner. Nice. Now, if you are not a business owner, and you're, working a job like most people are, there's nothing wrong with having a job. Let me just put that out there, okay? Because a lot of people in entrepreneurship, and when they hear us entrepreneurs talking, they thinking that we're saying everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. Let me just clarify that it's not for everybody. It's not. Okay. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. However, business ownership is. Right. If you are a citizen of this country, of the US, you need to have a business, because when you are an employee and you only have a job, right? You only get 9 tax breaks. There's only 9 things that you can put on your taxes and say, hey, this is going to lower the amount of taxes that I'm going to pay. But when you're a business owner, because we're all giving a social security number, we're all born a business. Most people don't take advantage of the fact that we are born a business. So what I suggest, especially if you are a employee and you do not have a business, get yourself a home-based business, because a home-based business allows you to open up and have access to now those business benefits. You get up to 470 tax deductions when you are a business owner. Wow. You don't get those when you only have a job. So this is helpful, because this may be a little confusing to people. People are like, what's tax deductions and all these other things? It allows you, really basic to understand or to explain it. As an employee and as a consumer, you've got bills. As a business owner, however, you've got expenses. Bills cannot be written off. Expenses can. I need you to stop. Thank you. Expenses can be written off. So expenses are things, especially when you have a home-based business, you write off things that you're doing anyway. You're going to pay your cell phone bill anyway. You're going to pay your light bill anyway. You're going to pay your rent or mortgage if you want somewhere to lay your head the next day anyway. You know what I mean? You're going to do all of these things anyway. You're going to travel. You're going to go out to eat. You're going to do all of these things. Right. And having a home-based business allows you to convert a lot of those expenses, or a lot of those things that you do, into expenses that you can take to actually lower what the government is able to tax you on. Wow. So, the employee that makes $100,000 a year, just to put numbers out there, because I know sometimes people understand it a little bit better that way. The employee that makes $100,000 a year is going to be taxed, let's just say 30%, right? Be quiet. Thank you. So the employee is going to be taxed at $30,000, right? So they end up bringing home, let's say 70. Mm-hmm. Okay. They still got to pay their lights. They still got to pay their bills. That's too loud. Okay. So it's $70,000 that person actually brings home, right? But then you still got to pay your rent. You still got to pay your bills. You still got to pay, everything that you normally do. Mm-hmm. So let's say that your lifestyle expenses come up to $20,000, right? That's $50,000 at the end of the year that you've kind of cleared. Now, if you are a business owner and you made that same $100,000 a year, as well as being an employee, you would take that $20,000 that you paid for your lifestyle and deduct that to where the government cannot tax you on that $20,000. Yes. Because if your business is structured properly, those are all things that were required for your business. Right. And as a business owner, you are taxed on what's left after you spend. Got it. So then they're taxing only on that 80%. On that $80,000 that's left. Okay. And a business owner is going to pay less taxes than an employee. So let's say if they pay $20,000, 20% of that $80,000, that's $16,000 that they are, actually taxed on. And it's a lot lower than the 30 from the previous example, where the employee was taxed. Where the employee was taxed up front. Right. Employees are taxed up front. Business owners are taxed after they spend. So you need to become a business owner. There's a ton of benefits to it. Also, outside of just the tax breaks, which are great, you can also hire your kids. So that's pretty awesome because, like we were talking about earlier, it'll start teaching them about responsibility. It'll start teaching them about how to manage money, and then also you can take that money and use it for something else for your kid. Right. Say if you got them in sports and things like that, if they play football and you got to buy equipment and, all this kind of stuff, you can take that out of the money that you paid them as an employee. Absolutely. But you wrote off the employees, extra salary. Right. So it gives you a lot of benefits. So long story short, have yourself a business. Even if you have a traditional business, if you don't have a home-based business, I suggest adding a home-based business. I feel like everybody needs to have a home-based business because it does give you so many benefits. And there's a number of them, that you can actually get started with. I just chose to do mine with the financial makeover company because I'm like, I'm gonna tell people about this anyway. You know what I mean? Like, right. I'm not gonna keep my mouth shut about this. Y'all just told me y'all gonna help me with student loans, and I know quite a number of people that are sitting on some debt, just like I am. You know what I mean? And they could use some assistance. So that was kind of like my introduction to it. And I would suggest that because it comes with awesome mentors. It's a great comp plan. It'll help you and other people around you. And you get to learn about financial literacy at the same time. Right. Like, it's pretty dope. Yeah. It's pretty dope. So that was number 4. Have a good tax strategy. Okay. Don't think tax season is just January through April, because it's not. Okay. Wealthy people look at the other months of the year as tax saving months instead of just the tax paying months. So the last thing that I suggest that you do is to protect your money. Protect your money. And now I don't sell life insurance, but I say protect your money because people don't, especially in our community, they don't buy life insurance. We don't buy life insurance, and then when someone passes away, we've got to set up a GoFundMe account. Or a plate sale. Or, yeah. There's so many different things that we have to do when we don't have these things in place. And the great thing about a life insurance policy is not only does it help you, and help your family in the event that anything ever happens to you, but you can actually use a lot of these policies to build wealth. So, you know, it has tons of benefits while you're alive, but also after you're gone as well. And then also included with that, I would say do some estate planning, especially if you own real estate, have these things in order, have yourself a will. Especially like I live here in Ohio, it's a probate state. So if there's no will in place, it's left up to the probate court on what happens with that person's stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like right now, my cousin and I are actually like into it with the probate court here because my grandmother passed away a few years ago and did not have a will. Oh, wow. So, you know, a lot of the things that I talk about, it comes from a very personal place because these are things that I've dealt with, you know. And things that I don't want other people to have to deal with either. So having estate planning done, especially if you own real estate, have your trust or will set up, and you know, make sure that you are protecting your income. And get multiple streams of income. That's my last one. I know I said 5 tips. I'm gonna put 6 in there.
So the bonus.
A bonus tip.
Bonus tip. Multiple
bonus tip, have multiple streams of income, because I'll be honest, one stream of income is too close to zero. And my mentor, or I have lots of mentors and they say great things, but they always say that one stream of income is hazardous to your wealth. Wealthy people do not survive on only the income that they earn. Right. Wealthy people find other ways to be able to earn additional income,
like
whether it before, is
they make their money work for them.
Yeah. And you may be surprised to know that money working for money is actually taxed the lowest. It's only taxed at 15%. Got money making money. But when you're working hard for your money, you're going to work every day, you're getting up at the sun, you know, before the sun even come up, coming home after the sun then went down, you know, sleeping, no, not sleeping, you right? You know what I mean?
Right.
The people who work the hardest in this country are taxed the most. That's why it's so important for people to start learning about these things, because the knowledge is going to be the only way that you will eventually shift from being an employee in the highest tax bracket to being a business owner in the middle bracket to ultimately ending up as an investor, making most of your money as an investor being taxed the lowest. So this program really helps you kind of get introduced to all of that while walking you through each and every phase with experts who are helping you through the whole process. At no point are you doing everything by yourself. You don't have to send off any letters or, you know what I mean, make a bunch of phone calls to people. They literally do everything for you and walk you through it. So it's a really, really, really great program, and it helps you shift from being an employee over to being an investor.
Right.
In
so
the
tell everybody how we can, you know, connect with you or get find information on the program.
Definitely. So you can certainly connect with me on Instagram. I say connect with me on IG because I love IG.
Me too, girl. I'm on there. That's how we connect.
And then that's where we met too.
Yes.
You know, so definitely get connected with me on IG. I have some great things going on over there. And I am actually about to announce a new partnership come Friday. Right. So this is gonna be exciting.
Yes, I can't wait to hear it.
Yes. So we'll be doing that, and I've got a bunch of content on there. Great things that you can actually learn different information from. I'm finishing up a series called The ABCs of Money. So go back and check that out if you've liked this, this interview here, because it breaks down each letter with a couple of different finance words and some mindset words in there too, guys. Nice. Yeah, because it ain't all about the money. We got to get the mindset right together first, right? Otherwise, we'll make the money just like the other guy and not keep it. So connect with me on IG. My name over there is Moms with an S at the end, Mastering Money. Moms Mastering Money on IG. Definitely get connected with me there. In my link or in the actual bio, you'll see my link tree there. You can go in, you can schedule a 15-minute consultation. You can also request more information there as well. If you just want to be able to see a video of it, you can go through the portal and request the information there as well. And then you can also text me. I'm still a text me or call me kind of person. Even though I do a lot of things on social media, I still like that one-on-one, like real, connection with people. So you can also text me as well. You want me to put the number or say the number in the video? You want me to type it out?
You can, because and I'll put it in the description box, but you could say
okay. Cool. So if you're watching this video and you're like, I need to connect with her because of that, send me keyword makeover. My kids, send me keyword makeover to 937-530-0404. And I will go ahead and I'll send you some information from there. Now we do have Zoom overviews that we do, or private overviews that we do on Zoom often. Those are extremely informational. So I would definitely say come to one of those events, because you're able to see how the whole program works. You're able to meet the other people that I'm also learning from, that I'm learning with, and that are helping me be able to really grow. Right. So they can help you do the same thing. And it gives you an opportunity to be able to hear real life testimonies.
Yes.
So you're not just hearing me saying how awesome it is and the things that it has done for me, but you're able to see how it has helped other people in their lives as well. Because we have so many testimonies, from people getting a $1,200 a month pay raise, to being able to pay off a 30-year mortgage in 10 years, to, one of our members, she actually just retired a few months ago, and then she turned around and got her private banking set up. So now she is her own bank, and she actually worked at the bank for over 20 years and did not even know that this existed.
Wow.
Yes. So
it's awesome.
It's helping people in all different ranges, whether you from jail or you from Yale, honey. If you want to get your finances together, this is the place to do it.
Do some snaps like that. Yes. Okay. Whether you're from jail or Yale, you can always get your finances in place, like for real.
Yes. So, and that's another thing too, guys that are coming from jail, not just guys, but anybody that's really coming from jail, they're really restricted in the jobs that they're able to get, but if you can start your own business,
why not?
You still got a social security number.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of benefits to this. It's, even for people that feel like, oh my God, this is just the way things have always been. This is the way they always will be. If you're like, look, this is how they didn't been, but I know it's a way to change it out there. You are the type of person I want to talk to.
Right.
Because I knew it was better available. I just didn't know how to go about doing it.
Right.
So now I got the how. Now I'm telling everybody, lottie dottie, and everybody. Like everybody's gonna know.
Hey, Rock City. Like, okay, James Fortune. Yes, rock with it. Yes. Okay. So on a personal note, I like to ask all of my guests, if you had to tell your younger self, as yourself right now,
oh my goodness,
something about today's topic, what would you say?
I would tell myself the same thing I've been telling y'all. Invest young. Invest young. I had a job at the age of 18. I just graduated high school, and the U.S. Census Bureau was coming around. This is like 2010. Or 2009 is when they actually hired for the 2010 census. But I tested into a supervisor position, didn't know what I was doing, but they gave me a notebook and told me just read this stuff out. And I said, cool, I can do that. I can read. I can do that.
Yeah.
But I had a great job. I was making like 14 something an hour. And then I got mileage on top of that as well. And the job was like 20 miles away from my house. And it was like from the time I left my house until I got back home, I was paid.
Wow.
So I got my first, what I call a comma check. I got my first comma check from the U.S. Census Bureau.
Okay.
I was living at home with my parents. All I had to pay was my car note, my car insurance, and my cell phone bill. Your girl made money. Okay, I was making like $4,000 or $5,000 a month for like 4 or 5 months. Looked up 6 months later,
nothing,
and that money was gone. I don't know where it went. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Balling out,
girl. Say balling. Me and my little Volkswagen, we was getting it. You hear me? Me and my little Beetle, we getting it around town. We was cool, okay? But the tank stayed on full, baby. Like, the tank stayed on full.
Listen, I got it. You know.
Exactly. You know, so that's what I would tell my younger self. Invest earlier. Not just invest monetarily, but start investing in you early. Start investing in my personal growth early. Because I didn't start my personal growth journey. See, they heard you finna close it up. They said it's my time to shine.
Yeah. All right. Yes.
But yes, I would say invest in yourself early. You know, don't wait until you are in your 30s and you've got kids and, you know, you've got all these responsibilities to really start getting serious about life.
Right.
You know, you don't have to, I'm not saying that you have to go out here and go straight to college and, you know, get this doctor's degree and all this other stuff, but figure out something. You know what I mean? Start making sure that you're around the right people. Start making sure that you got the right people in your corner. Make sure that you are constantly learning something. You know, it's so much, because I'm just like, look, if I had known what to do with my money back then, oh baby, your girl would be bad right now.
We wouldn't be having this conversation, because I probably have a house in the island, on the island somewhere. Yeah.
Period. I'll be laying out on somebody's
and my money will be
now.
Like cha-chinging, working for me.
Period.
Yes.
So, you know, so you got to start learning these things earlier. So I'm thankful the fact that I am learning these things. I'm not even gonna say that I did learn, because it's always more to learn.
Right.
But I'm thankful that I have come across this information in the way that it has really impacted my life, because now I'm like, I'm going to be an example. I'm going to show people that you can do it.
You can do
it.
I'm
going to show people that you can come from, you know, living check to check to being, you know what I mean? Not even knowing when your check gonna hit. Right. Like, oh, my check just went into my account. Look at God. What are you doing?
Like, oh, you know I ain't need it, but yeah, I want it, but I ain't even know.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna move it over to savings. You know what I mean? Let me go put that in this account that I got over here. You know what I mean? But it's just about the journey now. It's really just about me showing my journey, like, because there's a lot of people out there that's like, I can't do it. You know, with me being a single mom, and I have been a single mom for like 5 years now. Me and my husband actually just got back together. We've been separated this whole time. So I definitely understand how it is to be a single mom, raising kids, trying to work, trying to go to school, you know, trying to do all this different stuff, and just like, oh my God, I'm never going to get ahead. Yeah. You can get ahead. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some time, you know, but network with the right people. Make sure that you know your why, you know, and be determined to get to it. Like, be determined to do it. And then in those moments where you don't feel like doing it, do a little something. Do small. A little something. Do, you know, you don't have to do something big. You don't have to go out here and establish an LLC and you know, all this other stuff, but take some kind of steps towards getting better every single day.
Every day. Yep.
Every single day.
I agree.
That would be my biggest thing. So yeah.
Right. So Morgan, thank you for coming to kick it with me. Listen,
thank you for letting me kick it.
Absolutely. This was very informative, and it's something that, you know, is needed, not just in our community, worldwide, because people just don't know. People don't know. So, you know, now, if you're listening to this episode, you don't have an excuse. So get with Morgan. You know. Get with Morgan so she can put you on game about some more things, and we can all be on the same page when it comes to building generational wealth.
Yes.
That's the overall purpose, because we don't want our kids to go through some of the things that we've gone through, because I know that was my mama's running thing. I don't want y'all to not have what we didn't have, so we're gonna do this and do this and this and that. But yes, I appreciate you coming to kick it with me. It has been a great conversation. I cannot wait for listeners to hear it. And if you're listening, you know, make sure that you go over to YouTube so you can see the kids and all the stuff that we had going on, and you get a chance to put a face to the voice of Morgan. She is an awesome person. I'm glad that our paths connected. Never made our dead on our live, but hey, our social media, we be friends on there. Like, hey, it is what it is.
Listen, it's crazy. I'm telling you, because 3 years ago, you would not have been able to tell me that your social media family is going to be tighter to you and closer to you than even your regular family.
Love on you. Yes.
But baby,
It's real.
I'm
it's
like,
real out there
I
in the
got on
Instagram
lipstick
street.
by one of my social media friends.
Hey, and
I got on a shirt by one of my social media friends.
You trying to show me up, man. And I don't
You
have
know
nothing over here to show. Well, I can show Hailey. I can show Hailey B beads. I can show my bracelet.
Hey, I got the bracelet. I can do this shit too.
Yes. We support each other. We love each other, and we push each other to do better, to do, want better. And I'm thankful for that. And we could go on and on about that. And we won't bore y'all with that. We'll save it for off the live or the podcast, whatever. But
I do have one more thing.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I was like, wait a minute. I got one more thing, one more place I do want them to connect with me. Connect with me on Clubhouse. My Clubhouse name is Mom's Master Money, because the username was too long for the ing, guys.
Somebody else told me the same thing. Absolute J from Absolute Audacity said that.
Yeah, you gotta cut some of those words out. But it's the same profile pic that you'll see over there on my Instagram page. Connect with me on Clubhouse, because I do 2 awesome rooms every week on there. Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern is our finance room, where we talk about all things money. So if you're listening to this, you're like, I got a couple of questions, but I don't necessarily want to set up a consultation yet. I don't know if I'm that serious, right? Come to the Clubhouse room, bring your questions. It's always great gems dropped in there. Mm-hmm. And the conversation is not just about money. The one we did last night, it narrated over onto mindset too. Mm-hmm. So it was
never
awesome.
know. You got to tune in. Go ahead and connect on they didn't opened it up to Android users. So if you have an Android, you don't have an excuse. So it's just not for iPhone anymore. Yes.
No invite necessary either.
Right.
So yeah, no excuses. Get on Clubhouse, guys.
Yes. Y'all heard it here from Morgan. Connect with her on social media, Clubhouse, Instagram, TikTok.
Yes. I'm getting into TikTok.
Mm-hmm. But thank you guys for tuning in. I am here every Thursday. Make sure you like, share, comment, tell a friend so we can all be friends. And until next time, make sure that you invest in yourself. Don't be too afraid, because like our rich auntie Lipstick by Imani, she says, shy people make shy money.
That's right.
Shy people make shy money. Lipstick by Imani. If you like lipstick and all things girly, go over and patronize her website, www.lipstickbyimani.com. Like, go ahead. Morgan has some on. I don't have mine on today, but I do have some. So yeah, that's the whole overall purpose of supporting each other. But make sure that you just invest in yourself. And that's all I have to say for today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time.